What if I told you that your morning cup of coffee or that calming sip of green tea might be doing more than waking you up? What if it's quietly protecting one of the most important organs in your body, your colon? For most of us, coffee and tea are just part of daily life, a ritual, a comfort, a way to start the day or slow it down. But emerging research is painting a fascinating picture, one where these simple drinks might play a powerful role in preventing one of the deadliest cancers in America. Hello, everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about a disease that affects millions of people every year: colon cancer. It's the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the United States. Every year, over 150,000 Americans are diagnosed, and about 50,000 lives are lost to this disease. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be this way. You see, colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancers we know of, and prevention doesn't begin in the hospital or even in the doctor's office. It begins with the choices we make every single day. What we eat, what we drink, how we live. And that's where coffee and green tea come in. These aren't just comforting beverages. They're complex chemical mixtures packed with bioactive compounds, antioxidants, polyphenols, catechins, chlorogenic acids. They influence our metabolism, our inflammation levels, even the balance of bacteria in our gut, all of which play key roles in cancer prevention. Now, I'm not here to tell you to start drinking gallons of coffee or to spend a fortune on exotic teas, but I am here to show you that the science behind these everyday drinks is not only real, it's surprisingly strong. In this video, we'll explore what the latest research says about coffee, green tea, and colon cancer prevention, how these drinks work inside your body to protect your cells, how much is actually beneficial, and when too much might be harmful. And finally, how to combine them with other simple, healthy habits to build a daily routine that truly supports your long-term health. By the end of this video, you'll understand that sometimes the best medicine isn't found in a prescription bottle, it's found in your kitchen, your mug, and your everyday rituals. So grab your coffee or your tea and let's dive into the science of how something so simple could hold the key to protecting your colon and possibly your life. Let's start with the big picture. Colon cancer, also known as colorectal cancer, remains one of the most serious health threats in the United States today. Now, here's what's especially concerning. While we've made progress in screening and early detection, we're also seeing a troubling trend. Colon cancer rates are rising among younger adults. In fact, studies show that people in their 30s and 40s are being diagnosed more often than ever before. Researchers aren't entirely sure why, but lifestyle factors, diet, alcohol, smoking, and physical inactivity are playing a major role. For older adults, the risk continues to climb steadily with age. After 50, your chances of developing colon cancer increase dramatically, and yet many of the root causes begin decades earlier. So what's really happening inside the body? To understand that, we need to look at the colon itself. The colon isn't just a passive tube that moves waste. It's a living, dynamic organ, lined with millions of rapidly dividing cells that interact directly with everything you eat and drink. Every meal, every beverage, every nutrient, and every toxin that passes through your digestive system comes into contact with this delicate lining. Over time, repeated exposure to harmful compounds like those found in processed foods, alcohol, and tobacco smoke can damage the DNA of these cells, creating the perfect environment for abnormal growth and eventually cancer. But here's the other side of that story. The hopeful side, because just as your colon can be harmed by what you consume, it can also be protected and strengthened by the right choices. And that's where nutrition and lifestyle come in. Research shows that up to 70% of colorectal cancers may be linked to diet and lifestyle factors. That means the majority of cases could, in theory, be prevented with healthier habits. A diet rich in fiber, fruits, vegetables, and plant compounds helps your colon work more efficiently, reduces inflammation, and supports a healthy gut microbiome, all of which can dramatically lower cancer risk. On the other hand, diets high in red meat, processed foods, and alcohol increase that risk substantially. So yes, what you put on your plate or in your cup matters. And that leads us to two of the world's most consumed beverages: coffee and green tea. Billions of people drink them every day, often without realizing the potential impact these simple drinks could have on their long-term health. So let's take a closer look. What exactly is inside your cup, and how might those compounds protect your colon from within? When you pour yourself a cup of coffee or steep a bag of green tea, it's easy to think you're just drinking flavored water with a caffeine kick. But in reality, you're holding a complex mixture of hundreds of biologically active compounds, each with its own story and its own effect on your health. Let's start with coffee. Beyond caffeine, which we all know for its energy boost, coffee contains a powerful lineup of natural chemicals that your body recognizes and uses in remarkable ways. These include polyphenols and chlorogenic acids, two of the most abundant antioxidants found in the human diet. Polyphenols act like microscopic shields, protecting your cells from oxidative stress, the same kind of damage that leads to aging, inflammation, and cancer formation. Chlorogenic acids, in particular, have been shown to reduce inflammation and improve glucose metabolism, helping to regulate insulin levels. And since high insulin and chronic inflammation are linked to colon cancer risk, that's a very good thing. Then we have cafestol and caweol, two unique compounds found in coffee oils. These molecules may help stimulate detoxification enzymes in the liver and colon, allowing your body to neutralize harmful substances before they can damage DNA. And together, they may help slow the growth of abnormal cells that could eventually turn cancerous. Now let's turn to green tea, a beverage deeply rooted in centuries of traditional medicine, especially in Asia. Its most famous compounds are the catechins, and among them, one stands out: EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate. EGCG is one of the most powerful natural antioxidants ever discovered. It can directly protect cells from oxidative damage, reduce inflammation in the gut, and even influence how cancer-related genes are expressed. Green tea also contains theanine, an amino acid that promotes calmness and focus, balancing the effects of caffeine. Together, the catechins and theanine create a unique synergy, energizing the body but calming the mind. And here's an important point. It's not just about caffeine. While caffeine does play a minor role in boosting metabolism and improving alertness, the real health benefits of coffee and green tea come from these non-caffeine compounds, the polyphenols, catechins, and antioxidants that work quietly behind the scenes to protect your cells. Think of it this way. Caffeine wakes up your brain, but polyphenols and catechins wake up your body's defense systems. They help your body detoxify, reduce inflammation, and strengthen your internal environment, all factors that play a key role in reducing cancer risk. But that raises an even more fascinating question. How do these chemicals actually interact with your colon and its cells? How do they translate from your cup into measurable protection inside your body? Let's take a closer look at what the science says. Now that we know what's inside your cup, let's explore how those compounds actually work inside your body, especially in the colon. Let's start with coffee. When you drink coffee, the antioxidants it contains, especially the polyphenols and chlorogenic acids, begin circulating through your system. These antioxidants have one main mission: to neutralize free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage DNA and trigger mutations. By reducing oxidative stress in colon cells, coffee helps protect the lining of the intestine from the earliest stages of cancer development. But that's only the beginning. Coffee also stimulates bile acid secretion and intestinal motility. This means that food and waste move through your digestive tract more efficiently, reducing the time harmful substances stay in contact with the colon wall. In other words, fewer carcinogens sitting in your gut means less opportunity for them to do harm. And then there's the metabolic side of the story. Coffee improves insulin sensitivity and lowers chronic inflammation, two major drivers of cancer growth. High insulin levels can act like fertilizer for cancer cells, while inflammation sets the stage for DNA damage and abnormal cell division. By improving both, coffee quietly creates an environment where cancer has a harder time taking root. Now let's turn to green tea, whose effects are equally fascinating, if not even more direct. The superstar compound here, EGCG, has been shown to block several tumor-promoting pathways at once. It interferes with enzymes that cancer cells use to grow new blood vessels and spread. It also supports DNA repair, helping damaged cells restore their genetic code before mutations accumulate. Green tea's catechins also reduce oxidative stress, calming the inflammatory environment in the colon. And interestingly, they can modulate the gut microbiota, the trillions of microbes living in your intestines. Studies show that people who regularly drink green tea have a healthier balance of gut bacteria, with more anti-inflammatory species that may protect the colon from carcinogenic compounds. So, what does the evidence say? Large-scale studies from Japan, Korea, and Europe have provided consistent findings. One meta-analysis found that people who drink 3 to 4 cups of coffee per day have about a 20% lower risk of developing colon cancer compared to non-drinkers. Similarly, habitual green tea drinkers, especially in Asian populations, show reduced rates of colorectal cancer and improved survival after diagnosis. Of course, the relationship isn't perfectly uniform. Genetics, preparation methods, and overall diet play major roles. For example, the way coffee is brewed, filtered versus unfiltered, can influence levels of cafestol and kawiol. And with green tea, factors like water temperature, steeping time, and even the type of leaf used can change its antioxidant strength. Some people metabolize caffeine faster than others, and that can affect how much benefit or side effect they experience. That's why the key lies in balance, not excess. And that brings us to an important question. How much coffee or green tea is actually good for you, and when can it become too much of a good thing? Let's talk about that next. So, how much is enough to get the benefits without tipping into harm? Let's start with coffee. Across numerous studies, the sweet spot seems to fall between 2 to 4 cups a day. At this level, most people enjoy the full antioxidant and metabolic benefits: lower inflammation, improved insulin sensitivity, and enhanced colon protection. But more isn't always better. Beyond 4 cups, the benefits often plateau, and for some individuals, they can even reverse. Too much caffeine may raise blood pressure, trigger anxiety, or interfere with nutrient absorption. And in older adults, sensitivity to caffeine tends to increase, meaning the same amount that felt fine at 40 could cause jitteriness or sleeplessness at 70. Now, what about green tea? Most research suggests that 2 to 3 cups a day provide optimal antioxidant support, especially the benefits from EGCG, the compound that helps fight oxidative stress and support DNA repair. More than that doesn't necessarily mean more protection. In fact, very high doses of green tea extract supplements have been linked to liver issues in rare cases. Another key point, not all cups are created equal. The health-promoting effects we're talking about come from freshly brewed coffee and tea, not bottled or canned versions loaded with sugar, cream, or artificial flavoring. A green tea latte or a sweet iced coffee might taste great, but the added sugar and fat can easily outweigh the potential benefits. So, moderation is essential. A few cups spaced throughout the day can be powerful allies for your health, but too much caffeine can cause sleep disruption, heart palpitations, or digestive upset, especially in older adults or those with heart conditions. Think of it this way. The goal isn't to flood your system. It's to nourish it steadily, cup by cup, day by day. And before you reach for that 5th cup, let's pause and explore the potential downsides, because even good things can have hidden risks when taken too far. Now, before we all start celebrating coffee and green tea as miracle drinks, it's important to pause, because even healthy habits can turn harmful when taken too far. Let's start with caffeine itself. For some people, too much caffeine can irritate the stomach lining, increase acid reflux, or trigger heart palpitations. It can also heighten anxiety, cause restlessness, and disrupt sleep, especially if consumed late in the day. Older adults tend to metabolize caffeine more slowly, meaning it lingers longer in the system. That's why a cup of coffee at 4 p.m. might lead to tossing and turning well past midnight. Another overlooked issue is temperature. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, has classified beverages consumed hotter than 65 degrees Celsius, that's around 149 degrees Fahrenheit, as probably carcinogenic to humans, particularly for the esophagus. In simple terms, it's not the drink itself, but the heat. Repeated irritation from very hot liquids can damage the esophageal lining over time, so let your coffee or tea cool slightly before sipping. It's a small habit that makes a real difference. Next, consider what's added to the cup. Black coffee and plain green tea are packed with antioxidants, but once you load your coffee with heavy cream, flavored syrups, or sugar, the picture changes dramatically. The extra calories and saturated fat can negate the protective effects we've discussed, especially when consumed daily. Similarly, bottled green teas are often sweetened, turning a health drink into a hidden sugar bomb. Then there's the growing trend of green tea supplements. While brewed tea is safe, concentrated extracts or pills can overwhelm the liver, leading to inflammation or even toxicity in high doses. Your body doesn't need megadoses. It thrives on balance and consistency. So, here's the practical takeaway. Enjoy your coffee and tea naturally. Avoid extremes. Don't overheat them, don't overload them, and remember to stay hydrated with water throughout the day. Because health isn't built on a single beverage, it's the sum of your daily choices. And that brings us to the bigger picture. While coffee and tea get most of the spotlight, true protection against colon cancer comes from a full lifestyle approach. The food you eat, the way you move, and how consistently you care for your body. Here's the truth. No single drink, no matter how healthy, can protect you alone. Coffee and green tea work best when they're part of a bigger, balanced lifestyle, one that supports your body from every angle. Let's start with diet. Think of your colon as the final checkpoint of everything you eat. When you fill your plate with fiber-rich plant-based foods, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes, you give your colon the tools it needs to stay clean and resilient. Fiber helps sweep away toxins, supports healthy digestion, and feeds the beneficial bacteria living in your gut. Now, imagine pairing that with the antioxidants from coffee and green tea. These bioactive compounds, polyphenols, catechins, chlorogenic acids, don't just neutralize free radicals, they also help maintain the delicate balance of your gut microbiome. Research shows that polyphenols actually promote the growth of good bacteria, like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus, which play key roles in reducing inflammation and improving colon health. It's a partnership. Antioxidants, fiber, good bacteria, powerful prevention. Then there's movement. Regular physical activity helps your intestines function more efficiently, reduces insulin resistance, and lowers inflammation, all of which decrease cancer risk. You don't need a gym membership. Even a brisk 30-minute walk daily can make a real difference. At the same time, it's crucial to limit red and processed meats, cut down on alcohol, and avoid smoking, because these are the habits that directly damage colon cells and accelerate risk. So if coffee or green tea is your morning ritual, think of it as the starting point, not the finish line. Together, these lifestyle choices create a powerful full synergy, protecting your DNA, calming inflammation, and nurturing a gut environment where healthy cells can thrive. Colon cancer remains one of the most common and most preventable cancers worldwide. The choices we make each day, from what we eat to what we drink, quietly shape our long-term health. Coffee and green tea aren't miracle cures, but they are powerful allies filled with antioxidants and compounds that protect, repair, and restore balance inside your body. When paired with a healthy diet, regular movement, and routine screenings, they become part of a lifestyle that truly guards your colon and your future. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't think in terms of drastic changes. Think in terms of small, steady habits. Drink smarter, eat cleaner, stay active. These are the quiet, consistent actions that build real protection over time. And tomorrow morning, when you pour that first cup, whether it's rich, dark coffee, or gentle green tea, pause for a moment. Remember, it's not just a routine. It's a daily decision to care for your body and a small step toward a healthier colon. Thank you for watching. Take care of your health, one cup at a time.